everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mercy and I'm back with another video. Welcome if you are new. We talk about all things faith, lifestyle, beauty, and fashion. So today we're going to be talking about preferences and whether or not your type is keeping you single, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are very stern about like their preferences and just the appearance of what they want their partner to look like, that they can a lot of times miss out on some good quality people. And I don't want that for you guys. Like, I don't want y'all to stay single forever because of this minor thing. And so let's talk about it, because I really feel like there's a fine line between preferences and discrimination. I've seen I've seen a lot of people who have preferences that have been birthed out of pain. And what I mean by that is, like, take for instance like the dark skin community of black people. Dark skinned men and women were not as accepted back in the early 2000s as they are today. And so they weren't like the hot commodity. They weren't the people that everybody was going after. They were oftentimes made fun of. And a lot of young men who went through those experiences now don't even date black women. Like, they just totally write them off. And I think that is mainly birthed out of the pain and the trauma that they experienced back when they were younger. And so that's what I mean when preferences are birthed out of pain. Like, it's not something that's natural. It's not that they don't like what they see. It's that because of what they went through, they will no longer consider this specific type of person. And so I think we need to be very careful that our preferences are not birthed out of pain, because that will keep us in a vicious cycle. And now that preference becomes like a stronghold over us, keeping us in the same cycle, dating the same people, and disregarding a whole race of people because of what we went through, because we haven't forgiven, because we haven't healed from our past trauma. And so that's just an example. And we need to break that. We need to break that cycle because it's not healthy. And a lot of people who write off black women are probably meant to be with a black woman, but because they just refuse to, consider black women, they end up marrying somebody that they're not as compatible with because of race. And that's discrimination. So I don't ever feel like, if I feel like your type is keeping you single or is keeping you in the same repetitive habits, like you're dating the same people over and over again, like your exes look alike, they have the same type of personality, that's a little sus. So I think we should definitely watch out for just continuous patterns, because like that's the definition of insanity. You keep repeating the same thing over and over again expecting a different outcome. That is insanity. And so something has to change, and it starts with your mindset. So why do you prefer the people that you prefer? Like, does it come naturally? Like, have you always been that way since you were young and a child? Have you always been attracted to, curly haired, blonde haired women? Have you always been attracted to light-skinned men? Like, what is it? Like, why do you prefer what you prefer? If it's tied to like a past trauma, then that's when you know that it has bondage over you. And so we don't want that. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today. I think it's very important that we become more self-aware of, just why we want the things that we want. And when we're really real with ourselves, then we can take the next step and say, okay, this is what I need to work on to overcome this vicious cycle that I've trained myself to believe that this specific type of person is better for me. And I just think that in general, like, people should keep their minds open. You never know who God has for you. And yes, God puts desires in our hearts for specific types of people. Like, I have a type. I'm not even up front. I have a type. But I'm also not against, dating and getting to know people of other races. I'm definitely not against that, and I know what I like and I know what I would prefer, but it doesn't stop me from, you know, getting to know other people. Now, like I was saying, God places desires in our hearts. Like, we have a type for a reason. Like, God knows what we like, and He made us in that way on purpose, because more than likely that's the person that He has for us, is going to look like our type, but that's not always the case. And so if you have a closed mind, I think that it's tied to a deeper issue. Yes, it's fine to have a preference. Yes, it's fine to have a type, but if you start discriminating against an entire group of people because of your preference and because of your type, then that is definitely an issue that needs to be resolved in your personal life. Not to comfort anybody, I'm just saying, like, this is what I've witnessed, and it's just a lot of, I can only speak for the Black population. Like, a lot of Black men just prefer lighter, fair-skinned, curly-haired women. And that's why I say a lot of it is birthed out of pain, and then some of it, you know, they just generally like that type of girl. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't believe that preferences should be birthed out of pain, and I don't believe preferences should result in discrimination. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to say regarding this topic, just to shed light on it, because it's not really discussed. But there is a very fine line between preferences and being discriminated against. So I wanted to bring that to my platform today. Hopefully, you know, it helps somebody today. Hopefully it gets you thinking about, like, why you want the things that you want in your life. And yeah, I just want to encourage you to have an open mind, get to know people for their soul and just their personality and who they are inside, before you judge the outer appearance. So yeah, but that's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will talk to you soon in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.